I really didn't think it was possible, but somehow, some way, the Jordan Poole experience just keeps getting funnier and funnier. The start of this season was just pure comedy. He came in referring to the Wizards as his team, and would later go on to say that his legacy was taken care of with his ring in Golden State, and that this would be the first time he'd be playing without any pressure. A pretty wild claim, but quickly, he made it very clear he definitely wasn't feeling any pressure. He was treating the NBA season like it was shoot around in the backyard, a sentiment that only 3 preseason games into the year, some teammates were clearly not a fan of. Against the Knicks, he actually managed a really impressive 41 points, but after he had gotten those first few shots to go in, he seemed to just forget he had any other teammates on the court. He settles for this step back, contested heave, while having multiple opportunities to pass to wide open teammates. Then he throws his arms up in frustration and shortly after, during a timeout, says something to Jordan Poole. We never found out exactly what was said, but whatever it was, had Kuzma cracking up. Then the regular season starts and we get one of my favorite moments of the entire year. It was the second game of the season against the Memphis Grizzlies. Jordan Poole was yet to make a 3-pointer so far. He had gone 0 for 6 in the opener and so far in this game had already missed his first 2 shots from deep, but then decides to go for a no-look, bench stare-down corner 3, which, well, he misses.
Those are easy looks for me.
You really just gotta love it. In the very next game, he's out on the fast break. He decides to nonchalantly take the ball out, do a couple behind-the-back dribbles before turning around, throwing up a 3, which Kristaps sends back. The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, so there really isn't a better time to check out PrizePicks, the sponsor for today's video. All you do is pick more or less on player stats from pretty much every sport you can imagine for up to 100 times your entry. Tonight, I'm going with an all-demon entry. I'm taking Lillard and LeBron to both get at least 30. Then I'm going to go with Kyle Kuzma points and finishing it off with Zion Williamson. All this happens, my $25 becomes $875. Also, I just cooked up this entry for the MLB season. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you're going with. And if you guys haven't checked out PrizePicks yet, if you hit the link in the description and use my code JIMMER when you sign up, they're going to match your first deposit all the way up to $100. But keep an eye out, as they always have tons of different promos and new things coming to PrizePicks. Thank you PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. We were really getting shacked into full moments every single night to open the season. In the very next game against Atlanta, they're down 21 points in the third quarter, and on the fast break, he's throwing an off the backboard lob to Kuzma.
Crowd here at State Farm Arena, not happy with that Harlem Globetrotter play.
Then a couple weeks later, we see him completely ignoring the coach going over a play during a timeout. Teammates are telling him to look and he proceeds to chirp back. And then when they're coming out of the timeout, he goes back and tries to see what they're supposed to be doing. Remember, this guy is getting paid $30 million. This is his day-to-day profession. Then we had this moment. Jordan Poole puts a nice move on Cade Cunningham that sends him flying. But then he decides to stop and go with the stare down before throwing up the shot, which Thompson smacks into the stands. Now, it isn't just Jordan Poole that's been the laughing stock of the league this year. The Wizards as a team are legitimately the worst team in basketball. They're currently in the middle of a 16-game losing streak and have a 9-53 record on the season. I just really want to know who thought a Kuzma Poole-led team was a good starting point of a rebuild. This moment sums up the duo pretty well.
Nice no looks to Kuz. Poole fouled by Chris Dunn.
They have literally been the least effective duo in the entire league. Of the 145 that have played at least 1,000 minutes together this season, the worst net rating belongs to Kuzma and Poole at -11.6. They also hold the second worst defensive rating, only behind Tyus Jones and Kyle Kuzma, and the 9th worst offensive rating. That's really what's been the surprising part for a lot of people this season. We knew there would be some wild moments with Poole. We knew the defense was going to be atrocious, but him being this unproductive as a scorer, most didn't see that coming. He's averaging 17 points and 4 assists, but he's shooting less than 41% from the field and 32% from 3. If you're not aware, that is utter garbage. The only player with decent volume shooting worse from the field this season is rookie Scoot Henderson. From 3, it's only Jalen Green, someone who's definitely going to be getting a video soon. So the scoring is bad, the defense is bad, but somehow the decision making might be his worst trait. Half the time, it really just doesn't look like he has any idea what's going on. Take a look at this clip against Milwaukee and see if you know what went wrong here. There was 4 minutes left and they were down by 10. In order to save some time on the clock, Poole decides to let the ball bounce past half court before touching it. Once he finally does, he's upset as the clock has been running this whole time. But rightfully so. See, this is a move that's used quite often to save time on the clock, but not with 4 minutes left in the game. The clock only stops after a made basket during the last minute of the first 3 quarters and the final 2 minutes of the fourth. Jordan Poole has played 326 games in the NBA, and somehow, I guess this wasn't explained to him. Maybe he just wanted to save some time on the shot clock. Now, he actually did end up scoring on that possession, but then in the very next throws this up.
Wow, looking for Poole, all alone, 3.
Those are easy looks for me.
We now have an award in the NBA for the most clutch player of the year. Now we just need one for whatever the opposite of that is. We need some way to immortalize all these late game moments for Jordan Poole. Here the Wizards were down by 4 points with 29 seconds on the clock. With there still being the chance to get a 2-for-1, this game is far from out of reach. Jordan Poole has the ball. He takes it in, hits the lay-in to cut the lead to 2 points. Well, he would have if the play wasn't already blown dead after one of the most egregious carries I've seen in quite a while. Most of the other ones were also Jordan Poole. I don't know how he's doing it, but somehow through all of this, the confidence just doesn't seem to waver in the slightest. He continues to take wild shots.
Trying to win when they don't make threes.
Those are easy looks for me.
Chirp at other players and get into fights. Even stare down referees.
He's got a tech. I said to you, his body language wasn't good in the first half. Like he's not exactly a happy camper right now, Jordan.
You honestly just gotta love it. But as entertaining of a season it's been for Jordan Poole, it really was only a matter of time before he was benched by the Wizards. And 7 games ago against the Denver Nuggets, that's exactly what happened. In his first action off the bench, it started with him throwing up some disgusting bricks.
That is Poole.
This one was just wild. He goes with a contested 30-footer, seconds into the shot clock.
On the little floater. Horrible shot by Poole.
The third quarter was much of the same. He gets absolutely swatted by Najee on this drive. And then somehow he ends up inbounding the ball after, where he does whatever this is.
The shot clock. And Murray has the steal. Bad pass.
It really wasn't looking like this new role was going to change anything about his season. But since then, things have gotten pretty interesting. He's in the middle of by far his best run of the entire season. Over his last 7 games, he's averaging 25 points and 4 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 39% from 3. It feels like on a nightly basis, he is just filling up the highlight reel.
I think when you look at his style of play, is his ability and willingness to be a facilitator allows things to...
Marketing and Walker out tonight. They're going to count that shot.
Now, if you're a Wizards fan, I wouldn't get too excited here. They are paying him $30 million to come off the bench. And even in this 7-game stretch, where individually the scoring has been really impressive, the Wizards have lost every single game. Jordan Poole has had an average plus-minus of -8.3, and he still has one of the worst net ratings in the entire league at -12.7. The numbers are nice, but they've had concerningly little impact on this team's output. But hey, at least we're getting some great moments. This one just the other night had the chance to really be the greatest clip of the season. He slips and falls with the ball in his hands, something we've seen plenty of times throughout his career.
Only 8 to shoot. Poole turns it over. I mean, and then he slips on it. Watch.
But after falling to the ground, you clearly see him legitimately think about shooting the ball. There's 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Now maybe you could say he was looking for the lob, but come on. With what we've seen this season, you thought he was about to do it.
Those are easy looks for me.
Tyus Jones on the bench thought he was about to do it. The announcers thought he was about to do it.
Is he gonna shoot it? Don't do it. He even thought about it. He didn't think about it. He definitely thought about shooting it.
I really wish he did, but unfortunately, this ended up being one of the very few times this season where he came to his senses and decided to pass the ball. Now, to make it very clear with this whole video, I'm not hating on Jordan Poole. I've become a bigger fan. I've got nothing but respect. Right now, there's very few things that get me more excited than seeing a new Jordan Poole clip hit the timeline.